everything will get better moving forward. Everything. And that's the goal.
Yeah, how many Jake's takes do?
I'm mess you up, man. I'm mess you up. My takes are not that bad.
I'm just kidding.
You will learn one day.
Watch, if Pop announced that I'm gonna start next week, I'll be pissed.
Devin's gonna start next week. That'd be hilarious.
Fuck this.
Oh man. It'd be almost as good as my Heat
Pop's
take.
gonna be like, I like his 3 and D. Blah 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 blah. I'll knock Pop out too.
All right, so let me hit the clap up real quick. All right, welcome everybody to HHC. That's right, Heroes in a Half Court, episode 1. We are very excited to have you here. I am Chris. I'm here with my brother Joshua. I'm here with my brother Jakob, and we are some Spurs fans who decided that we wanted to take the arguments that we normally have with each other and the spirited Spurs talk that we like to have with each other. We wanted to have a spot where we can share and sit down and kind of work it out and talk a little bit on the internet. So today we're gonna, in this first episode, we're gonna be going over our overall roster feelings. Now that we've kind of gotten past free agency, we kind of know what our roster is gonna look like. So we're gonna be talking about our individual feelings on that. We're going to be giving you our each individual lineups, who we want to see starting the year. Maybe some bench lineups as well. We'll go over our individual win-loss predictions for the year, so that we can kind of see how wrong or right we are as the season progresses. And then lastly, we want to end you guys right for the preseason, right around the corner, and just kind of talk about some of the things that we want to see as the year is starting. All right, so let's go ahead and get into our first one, which is just our overall feelings of the roster. Now that we've kind of gone through all the craziness of the shortened free agency period and the signings and the trade rumors and all that kind of stuff, now that that's settled down, we kind of know what we got going into the year. So, Jake, we'll go ahead and start with you, since I think you have maybe something that will start the conversation off. So, just in general, what are your feelings with maybe what you thought you were going to be getting around free agency time versus now that you know what we got? How do you feel about it?
Man, at the beginning of free agency and like the draft, I was for sure upset with our moves because there was a couple people that I felt like we should have traded. Looking at it now, though, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't. I think the people that I was ready for us to kind of move on from they can kind of fit into our lineups without taking away too many minutes from the younger guys, the core that we want to move forward with. And I'm not too upset about it looking at it now. I think that our pickups were not bad, and honestly, we just gonna have to move forward and keep going with what we got.
Okay. All right. You want to go next?
I mean, yeah, like I was definitely disappointed. Draft night, I was expecting people to be gone. So now that I heard Pop talk and the people who I wanted gone speak, I'm happy we kept them. So going forward, I want to see what these young guys got, especially Vessel, because this guy's high on him. I don't know. We're gonna find out, I guess.
Yeah.
So like, I'm ready to see what they do. I like where we're going right now. Like, I'm just hoping for the best. I'm hoping for the best because I'm not used to not making the playoffs. It was disappointing. Obviously, it was disappointing. I could not stand. I hated the way we played like so good during the bubble, and I wanted to see it continue. It was kind of just quick little. I forget what it was. 10 games. Or
a little bittersweet to see us play in a style.
We played so good like that, and I wish we could have more of that. But that's why I guess that's why I'm excited for this season. I'm ready to see what we got going forward.
Yeah. I would agree. So to kind of put some context around this is being recorded, like he said, after now we've had some time to hear the media day stuff from DeMar and LA and Pop and a lot of the young guys as well. So I think some of the heated emotions maybe that were in our discussions leading up to the draft, immediately after the draft, I think a lot of that has kind of settled down. I was like you guys, man. I loved the way we played in the bubble, and I was of the mind of like, I cannot wait to see how LA and like Lyles can get put into this lineup or into the style of play. But I will admit, when we were around draft time, I got a little bit sucked into the let's trade up and get to number two. Let's clear our books. Let's get a young big man. Let's really run and gun. Let's throw the lobs. Let's do this. Like I got sucked into that a little bit. But since we've kind of since the motions have kind of died down, I've kind of reverted back to that same mindset that I had before, which is I'm super excited to see LA and Lyles and incorporated into the thing that we were already doing as opposed to blowing it up and starting all the way over.
I didn't want to blow it up. I just felt like one or two guys.
Yeah, but I guess maybe when I say blow it up, I think of I think our roster has all of our future and all of our current. And I think that most people feel that divide in the Spurs nation. So I think that most people were seeing that break and seeing an opportunity to kind of cleanly make that break happen now. And so I think I think it's okay, especially like in a year like this where we know it's going to be shortened. We know that everybody's going to be dealing with COVID alterations to their season in how they have to prepare and how they have to travel and all of that kind of stuff. So I don't know. It just feels like this is the best season we got to like. Let's see what we got with these guys for their last year. Who knows what the Spurs have in their plans on like even thinking about re-signing them or restructuring after this year, but. Let's see what we got. So I think I am overall excited. I wish that we would have a little bit more size, but I also understand, I guess, our limitations in terms of roster spots. I was happy. I'm one of the person who was kind of happy to see like a guy like Metu leave. No disrespect. But just like I just felt like that's a roster spot, you know what I mean, and that's a spot, that's minutes that's production that we could have on the floor, and just a lot of times that Metu was on the floor
for another guard that we got.
Yeah. I mean, I won't lie, and we can kind of talk a little bit about that. You had mentioned Vassell, so like. I first of all, when it comes to Vassell, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for a wing. I think most of us most Spurs fans were looking for a wing, somebody who can be out on the outsides and try to defend a little bit. The point guard pickup, I've heard nothing but great things. I've heard nothing, and I do not follow college basketball. I kind of wait until I'm usually waiting until summer league and all that kind of stuff to really start to pay attention to the rookies. But I've heard nothing but great things about the point guard. But it's just knowing that we still have Patty and knowing that we have all these good things to say about Witherspoon. Also, I don't know. I would have maybe gone with a bigger man at that spot. But I mean, overall, I think we're of the mindset of like, well, let's see what we got and let's go out. Right. I mean, and really, I think back to like as frustrated as it is as to be a Spurs fan, like at times, when you see the young guys and like it's game night and like they suit up, you're at least for me, I won't speak for you guys, but like I'm like 100% behind them all the time. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's go. It's time. It's time to go. So I mean, I think at this moment of the season, that's where everybody is, right? It's like, okay, here it is. This is our team. Let's suit up and let's get ready to go. So I think we all kind of agree on that. So now that we kind of have like our roster makeup, how do we think that is going to translate into the year in terms of like wins and losses? Well, I guess actually, let me reverse track that a little bit. Now that we kind of know who our roster is. Who do you want to see out on the floor night in and night out? Now, we kind of made our lineups individually, so we'll kind of talk about them that way. Again, at the moment that we're recording this, it is known that Derek White will most likely be missing parts of the beginning of the year. I don't think there's really a timetable, but he just said, Pop had said, like, he won't be with us to start, right? So Derek White or Keldon Johnson. So your lineups, in my opinion, like you can kind of caveat that and say, like, my lineup has Derek White, but also I'm going to be sliding in people, like, I'm just going to give some context with that. So, Jake, you want to go first? Since again, this is the one that I guess we're gonna be raising our eyebrows a little bit on.
Okay, so this I kind of have like two lineups in a sense. One from our bubble play, and then like another one just like I guess like a little bit more realistically coming into the season. This is what we might do. But from what we did in the bubble, we ran DeMar at the 4 instead of running him at the 3. And I honestly, like, if we're going to do that again, and have LA fall into it, I'd love to see DJ start, Derek at the 2, Keldon, DeMar, and LaMarcus. That would be like my
That's small, super small lineup.
My small lineup.
Very small.
My other more realistic lineup, this is gonna be a little bit wild, but
I don't hear it.
I would have DeJounte, our rookie Devin.
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. DeJounte's like at the 1.
Yeah,
or
DeJounte's. You know, he is the point guard.
So
right now.
read it out 1 through 5.
DeJounte at the 1, Devin at the 2, DeMar at the 3, Trey at the 4, and LaMarcus at the 5.
I don't think that's too controversial, other than you're trying to start Vassell.
Yeah,
at the 2, you said, yeah.
Yes, at the 2, because 1, it does bring in more size to the lineup. He's 6'7". He's a larger wing that can play the 2, and they've said that he's a 3-and-D prospect. So like, if that means that the ball is going to be in DeJounte, DeMar, and LaMarcus's hands, that leaves Devin and Trey to space the floor.
Watch the tap.
Oh, sorry.
You good?
That leaves Devin and Trey to just come out there and space the floor, and we're getting our rookie minutes, our lottery pick minutes. You know, it's been however many years since.
Which kind of has been a gripe in the past, or at least last year, right?
But
is like player young guys.
How demoralizing will that be to Lonnie?
I
feel like he took a jump.
I think the way that I was saying that Devin's role wouldn't be as large is because the bench is for Derek, Lonnie, and Keldon to get out there and do their thing.
Yeah, so you're saying it gives them an opportunity to have a big responsibility, but as the second unit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think that Lonnie can be perfect as our spark plug off the bench, but like I don't at the moment, because we have DeMar and LaMarcus taking our shots. Why would I want Lonnie out there taking shots away from them or having DeMar take away shots from Lonnie? I'd prefer if Lonnie keeps getting his good rotational minutes coming off the bench in a solid role for him right now, and then it gives our new rookie guard a solid role to come into and not have to worry about too much, not have to be in too much stress, but also, you know, we're giving him a solid 25, 26 minutes to just go out there and, you know, run with our starting lineup, you know?
I honestly, now that he's kind of said it in the context of taking shots away or just their opportunity, their responsibility offensively, I don't think it sounds as like outlandish putting him in the start, or at least just like putting him out there. Whereas at first, when I first heard that you were going to put Vassell in your starting lineup, you know, it raised my eyebrows a little bit. Okay. I don't know. I don't. And again, you know, well.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
it could work. It could work.
And like he wouldn't. The minutes that he would be taking away would be from Patty. He wouldn't be taking many minutes away from Derek, Lonnie, or DJ. Like obviously he's got to be starting, but that doesn't mean that he has to really get like those big starter quality minutes. You know, he can start the game. And obviously it'll be the beginning of the season. We'll see how it works. We'll see if he can.
What I mean, if he's not going to get the minutes, then why start him?
Because it's just because of the roles in that sense. It's because
you don't want to let him come in and play against some like the second unit of whoever we're playing is going to come in. Go get your minutes there. Rather than start him and throw him, and he's going to be the 2. So when we play Houston, go ahead.
Check James.
Go check James for X amount of minutes.
We got DeJounte Murray. We have one of the best defensive guards in the league.
Right, but then he's going to be guarding John Wall.
And he's been known to be a solid defensive guard already. I don't think we'd have to really worry too much about having to throw him at a big dog because he already is.
Well, but at the end of the day, you know, he is a rookie.
But I think that leaves a lot of room for him to expand and become better. You know, we're already telling him, hey, we want you to be guarding one of the better guards in the league. You know, if we are playing against Houston,
do you think Pop would do that? Why? I mean, do you think Pop would? Honestly, when's the last time he's done that? Hey, Rook. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I think, I don't know. I mean, if he's not playing, then I'd say that we swap it out and we go DJ, maybe Derek or Lonnie or Derek, one of the two to start at the 2, right? And then coming off the bench would be Patty and Lonnie. And honestly, I just, as much as I love Patty, as much as he's been like a vet to us and everything, I feel like I'd much rather just have the rookie guard be out there playing the best defense that he can than
I've been hearing, like, I've been watching Patty tweet and been listening to that guy talk, and I'm like, I want him to play.
I know, I know.
Everything he's been saying and everything, he's like, let's get it. And then he was like so hyped about the Fiesta.
It's definitely changed. It's definitely changed my lookout on how I want him specifically to fit in.
Yeah.
Well, then let's switch over to you. What if you want to list it 1 through 5?
So yeah, I'm gonna go 1 through 5. Definitely DJ at the 1. I don't want the Rook starting yet. So I'm gonna go DJ. I'm gonna go Lonnie. I'm gonna go DeMar. I'm gonna go LA, and I'm gonna go Yak. And that way, White could come off the bench and run that second unit, and we'll see where our Rooks fit in if they get PT. I mean,
I don't think Trey Jones is specifically getting PT. We were talking about fit and stuff, or like, you know, where he lines up. I don't think he lines up with the timeline of now. I think he. Trey Jones, our second round point guard, right?
Yeah, because he doesn't. He should be behind.
He's gonna be behind all of the guards right now.
And you would also at this moment have to put him even behind Witherspoon, right?
Yeah. And that's why, like,
and that's why I feel we're talking about not
but,
having no training camp, nothing like that, because he's not gonna be able to outplay nobody with no minute, like no preseason. So he definitely should be in the back burner, like. As far as our point guards go, But like I said, I'm still gonna have, like, we still have KJ coming off the bench behind DeMar. Like, we do have Trey, but you were saying you wanted Trey to space the floor. Well, then listening to Pop Talk, you know, just a couple of days ago, what was he saying about LA? He bought into our bubble play. Mm-hmm. He wants to do what we need to do to win, which was shoot more threes. Which what everybody wants. Stop backing people down in them damn mid-range fadeaways all the time. Go space the floor. And he said he was willing to do that. We didn't make the playoffs last year. Everybody knows that. We need to change something up. LA said he's willing to do that. He wants to win. He wants to run. There's your spacing right there. If you have, like, we'll have Yak down there, right? He's protecting the rim. He's grabbing the boards. If Yak's down there or setting good screens, and we have LA out there with Derek and DJ running that point, and like DeMar cutting, and even when DeMar handles the ball, good things happen. Like, yes, every time I feel like he makes good decisions. Mm-hmm. No matter if he's driving, he makes that right kick. He scores when he can score at the rim. So like that's what I see right now with a 3-and-D guy coming off the bench. As far as Old Devin, like, let him come in on the second unit and even run with DeMar and take the ball out of his hands or whoever. I don't know how he is as a playmaker. That's why. Like, starting, if DJ's not having a good day,
you automatically have to figure where does he sit on your options offensively.
Yeah, because I don't want him just to go fucking stand there. Like, that's what I don't want.
I get that.
But like, I don't watch college basketball, like you said, so I don't know too much on the guy. Like, I can't. All I know is what I've read, and honestly, like, I'm just excited. Yeah, I'm excited to see what he does, but I wouldn't throw him in there right now.
I can see that.
I would not.
I can see that. I think okay. So I'll kind of give my lineup now. I kind of more side on your side, but I would say I think for about 80, and I'm you guys know I've been the most resistant in terms of like the league moving towards the smaller. Yeah. As far as my roster goes, like, I wish that we had somebody who was like Jakob, but that can be his, you know what I mean? In my perfect world, we have our starting 5, and then we have all of their roles just get duplicated. Boom, we put in another big man that fills that role. But I think on a night, like for 80%, 85% of the league on a night in, night out basis, I think if we had LA, or I guess I'll start at the 1. I'll put DJ in at the 1, Derek White at the 2, DeMar DeRozan at the 3. I will go Trey Lyles at the 4, and then LaMarcus Aldridge at the 5. And I would say for about 85% of the league, that's an okay lineup to throw out there, like where we're not going to get oversized and we'll have the mobility. We'll have the right pieces that we want. I'm excited to see DJ and White play a lot more together. I'm not the one who was like clamoring like they need to be out there all the time together. I'm cool with one of them like Derek White coming off the bench and being the point.
Yeah.
Derek White is somebody who I think is just he's so smart and I don't since Tony Parker went to Charlotte, there's just been so many times that we've had moments on the court where we just were out there without somebody to calm us down, without somebody to direct us in the right place.
Right.
And Derek White has all of those traits.
That's why if like say we're closing the game, I would run them together, but swap. I would have Derek run the point
and DJ
run the
Yeah.
two,
Mhm.
and especially in those tight games because sometimes Derek does make better decisions.
Smarter.
And I'm hoping like that DJ makes that leap to where we don't have that issue. It's whoever has the ball is gonna make the right play. Either way.
Yeah.
But like.
My only
That's
concern about that, and again, we'll see how it develops from how they've played to how we hope they play now, is imagine Derek White has the ball and it's got to be him kicking it out to DJ. It's like,
But
If
DJ
DJ
showed
can
it.
shoot.
DJ showed that he could shoot.
Well,
Whenever he had those catch and shoots, he was hitting them in the bubble too.
I'm hoping that is what it is. But as of right now, do I feel more comfortable with DJ kicking it out to White for a shot or White kicking it out to DJ for a shot? I would say I would want White to shoot it.
Mhm.
Well, I mean,
You know,
if they're,
but like you said,
gonna have to.
you hope that we get to the point where it's pick your poison.
yeah.
Yeah, so I when I put DJ at the 1 and White at the 2, I'm with you.
It goes
either way.
Mhm.
It goes either way. Whoever's bringing up
Yeah,
the ball.
Whoever's
and,
in the
So I'm cool with that. Go ahead.
And that's why, like, you know, is the same thing with what I was saying with having our rookie coming in at the 2 is that he doesn't have to finish games. He doesn't have to close out the games,
Yeah.
right? If we're in a clutch time moment, we don't need to have
Obviously the depth chart's gonna change.
we can say, all right, Derek, you're going out there now, you know, and Derek's, you know, he's gonna step up to the plate. He's stepped up to the plate for the last 2 years, the only thing that I was gonna say about your lineups were like you wanted to have LaMarcus at the 4, Yak at the 5. Who's gonna, you know, Trey can play center, but I don't think he'd be good enough.
Like he's saying,
big wise
Well,
to fill in that.
I think LA's
Rudy.
Rudy can't play the center though.
No.
But who's going to go out? Like we talked about this too. Nobody's putting their back to the like. Nobody's backing you down every single possession.
But it's still
it
like
happens every now and
I mean,
then.
like, you know, we can still lose a game by rebounds.
Yeah.
Like there are times
we did lose a lot of games.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So-
There are
so-
times in the league where you know, if they have a backup center who's you know, he doesn't have to fill in a crazy role. He just has to be able to
and
get
that's
up
why
there.
that's why me like I am like where how you had Yak and LA
And
starting
LA.
at the same time.
Yeah.
I think like I said, I think for about 85% of the league you can start LA at the 5 and have Trey, but I think that we do need to have a lineup on ready to go.
Ready to
where,
go to
where we have Yak at the
is that-
5,
and
LA
your
at the 4.
And I understand that.
And
I do.
well, your lineup, I feel like it goes the opposite of what Pop was saying because he wants LA.
Why?
Because he wants LA on the. Well, I'm not gonna say he wants LA because I don't know what he wants.
Yeah.
But in like, if we're gonna have LA shooting more jump shots and LA's at the 3-point line, then we're gonna have no offensive boards.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have no offensive boards.
That's immediately when you were talking about your lineup and you talked about how LA was talking about incorporating more into the offense.
He's not gonna
It made me
be
think
down
that too.
there.
If he's out there, we're either gonna have him and Yak has to be now holding it down.
Yeah, because
Or we're not gonna have nobody.
We're not gonna have nobody
So-
offensively getting boards.
Obviously, like, it's been a couple years out since Golden State's run, but you know that's what they did. You know, when not Andrew Bogut per se, but when they were running their small ball, you know, they really did have like a 5-out type of half court offense, and I think that we could do the same. And let DeMar work the mid range.
That's rough to say.
And I understand
they have 2 of the best shooters in the history of the NBA. That everybody has to have their eyes on.
But like, if our team can, if Derek, if like, you know, if we can have just a little bit more consistent shooting, I think that half court offense could be good enough to work.
Yeah.
Like if we did literally run in a sense like a 4-out 1 in, but our 1 in was DeMar, and we let him just run the mid range. You know, like if we had Derek. In my lineup, right? DJ and Devin at the 1 and 2, right, to start plays, DJ's starting plays, and then we have Trey and LaMarcus at the 4 and 5 being able to just kind of space out, running back and forth from the paint to the corners, and then, DeMar's just running that mid-range. We let him do his plays.
Yeah, and the Spurs did have a time where it was public knowledge that they had said, like, we're not gonna prioritize the offensive rebound as much. It's just gonna be like get back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like get the hell back. So imagine a lineup where LA does kind of stretch out a little bit. And honestly, I think when he says something like LA is gonna buy into the system, I don't think that means he's always just gonna be out of the paint.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He can still run his.
But yeah, so I think there will be opportunities to have one lineup where LA is kind of the biggest dude out there, and he kind of does have to be more inside. I mean, he's a versatile guy. I've been saying a lot to these guys. Imagine if he comes back healthy with his shoulder, he's slimming down, and he becomes our Jokic. Obviously, not going to be as good of a passer, but imagine if he's now facilitating from his mid-range points. He's swinging the ball. He's obviously a threat. If he catches it, you got to step up because he will shoot it. And he will make it, or he can make it. So I mean, he's very versatile. So I think he could be down low as our biggest guy, but also spacing it out and letting Yak be that. All right. So we've talked about the rosters, kind of like what the makeup is going to be on the team. So now let's kind of translate that or transition that into. How do we feel that they're going to fare? I mean, now we're incorporating the other teams, right? How are we going to fare against the rest of the league? How is that going to translate to wins and losses? If you want to go as far, it's early in the year where we haven't started a single game yet. So we'll probably throw out some really early and very incorrect predictions for how we think our win-loss is going to be for the whole season. And if you want to go as far as what seed you think they're going to land or whatever, you can do that as well. Okay, so I think we've been going in this order. Jake, and then Josh, and then myself. So let's start with you, Jake. Wins and losses. Where do you think we're at?
Honestly, I want to be high on this team, and I am I love our young guys and everything, but I don't think that this team just is ready to be like contending for playoffs too much. I honestly, if by the season starts, I see DeMar and LaMarcus, really. Push it forward and our young guys really take that next step, then yes, of course, let's start working to playoff contention. But I'm still not really high on us being back in the playoffs this year. Like, that's just not what I'm, the beginning of this season will obviously tell us how it's going to, what it's going to start looking like. But I'm just not as high as maybe others can be.
As in, you think at our best, we are where? Where do you think that puts us in terms of? You don't have to. I mean, it's gonna be hard to put a number. I mean, what does the shortened season look like? 72 games.
72 games.
So I mean, not to try to make you throw it out. We are gonna win 30x games.
Yes, say it. That's what I want to hear.
That's what he wants to hear.
That's what I want to hear. How many games?
My range.
He's having us miss the playoffs. That's what he said. So
okay,
miss the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly.
With how many wins?
Exactly. Where did it put you?
Our very best, my range would say that it's a little less than a winning record, which would kind of put us in
36.
And I honestly, in my opinion, a 20 to 28, 28 being that highest.
That's
you
way
think
low.
You think on the high end Spurs are winning about 28 games?
28. Maybe I could push that up to about 30 games, right? But
even 30 games would be 6 games under
500.
Under 500.
And I feel like that's a little less than winning. The biggest thing for me coming into this year isn't whether or not we're getting our wins. It's honestly how good our development is for the young guys. If I look into if I'm looking at the future, DeMar, LaMarcus, Patty, and Rudy are all on their last years of the deal. Mm-hmm. And either we trade them mid-season or we just let them walk or whatever the case. Maybe.
But best case scenario. So let's say we kept them. Best case scenario is that 28 to 30 range. So if we can and then this is me just looking at the roster right now, because honestly maybe we do come into the season and we really do we kick. I think who's our first game?
Our first game is against
Regular season starts with a division game against Memphis.
Right? So
That's a
obviously
dub.
Memphis is another young team that, like, if we win and we win by a good margin, sure, I might be a little bit higher on it. If we beat a team like the Raptors and we beat maybe the Lakers once, we beat the Jazz, then
You're saying if we get off to a good start.
yeah, then obviously that'll make me believe in this team more than I am right now. But at the moment, I'm still kind of looking at us as if we are.
I definitely remember times last year, early on in the year, where we were winning some games, and I was like, "Ooh, we are winning the type of games that we were losing the year before," and that made me excited. What happened afterwards was a lot of inconsistency, so we'll see. But
what did we do the year before? Not last year, but the year before.
You're talking about when we scraped into the playoffs?
The year before,
no, we did not scrape in.
We did not scrape in.
The last that was the year that literally we at the very last bit of the year did we even fall down to 7, right?
Yeah,
it was
remember,
7.
we were up there. It was just it was so tight.
You're right.
We had a chance to be what
4 or 5, yeah.
4, and we dropped right.
Yeah.
So coming off 2 years ago, and then like DJ came back right, and everybody said, "Well, we're only going to get better." We had a drop off here, so it kind of bums me out. I want to knock you out for saying that we're just going to miss the playoffs. You think we're going to be worse than what we were last year? Because what did we win last year in a 72 game season, right? We missed 10
close
games.
to that.
Because of the break, is
because of the break. So I think it was 72, if not, give or take some. And I can't even remember what our record was. Like honestly,
it was.
I really couldn't.
Well, we'll look it up right now. Y'all keep talking.
Okay, so I don't know what the record was, but I'm assuming it's close to probably that. I think we're better than that. Going into this year, I think we're better than that. So me, 72 game season, I'm saying like 40 wins. Like 40 wins that's good for me. That'll put us over 500. I think that'll get us into the playoffs, even if it is low. Maybe we do scrape in. Maybe it's 7-8. Not because we're not good, but it's just because everybody's so good in the West. I think.
Yeah, the West is so tight.
It's really tight. And then just look at our division. We have Zion. We have Ja. We have John Wall now. John Wall and James.
Luka.
We have Luka. That's rough.
Steps.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Winning those games that we're gonna have to win.
Yeah.
But do I think that?
I'd have to look at it but normally we're playing them 4 times a year. It's probably gonna be something like some of them are 4, some of them are 3 or whatever.
Well,
so real quick,
be.
it was 72 games last year.
Mm-hmm.
The Spurs had a losing record with 32 wins, 39 losses.
So you think we're gonna be worse this year? That's what you're saying.
Well, but maybe it's a mixture of the two because it's by proxy of the West is very tight. So if everybody increases their wins by just a little bit, if everybody is just getting a little bit better, maybe they get a little bit more better than we do, I guess. Mm-hmm. Maybe that's where he's coming from we're just going to lose some of those games. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you.
And so like he said, we are just going to lose some of those games. Like I am high on this team. I love all the players that we have, 1 through 15. But, they're just those games that we are going to lose. And, the thing coming from me is that I'm not looking for us to win games. I'm looking for us to just play good basketball. I'm not looking for...
Yeah.
I just want to see improvement coming from Derek, DJ, Lonnie, Keldon, and our other young bucks that are going out there. They don't have to go out there and make us another winning season like the last however many years. But if they're going out there and I see DJ's playmaking and his shooting ability got better, then I'm happy. Then
okay,
I'm not.
You'll be happy.
Did you already kind of? I know you were talking about his points. Did you kind of talk about how many wins you think we're gonna get? Where you think we're gonna be?
I said 40. I say around 40 wins. That's where I'm putting us. 36 puts us at 500 for the season. Do I think we'll be above that? Yeah, I do. Especially, what did you say, 32?
32 and 39.
32 last year.
32 and 39.
32 last year, Dang,
so I only
like,
have in front of us right now, real quick, or in front of me, is that the Phoenix Suns and Memphis Grizzlies both won 34 games to get past us into the 10th and 9th seed.
And Phoenix got better.
So Phoenix got better. Do I think that we could beat them? If I'm looking at their roster, I don't think. Okay, DeAndre Ayton, yeah, he was high up there, but I don't know. That to me, that guy hasn't shown. He's not that guy. He's just not as far as where he was drafted. He's not that guy. Obviously, Book, we talked about Chris Paul, like, off camera a little while ago. Yeah, that addition. But do I think still that we could beat them? Yeah. Do I think that we could beat them in a playoff series? Of course. So I think that we could beat them. We could
on a night in night basis.
I think we could outgun them during the season as far as wins and losses go. Yes. Same thing for
Portland was at 35 wins. They're in the 8th seed.
Then
then there was a big jump from 8 to 7. Dallas with 43 wins. So they won 8 more games than Portland did, and they were in the 7th seed. And then every team after that, 4, 5, and 6, each won 44 wins. So I think there kind of is that break of like, well, we're going to have less games, about 72.
Mm-hmm.
But let's say if we were pushing up to like that right above 30 win, like 35, 36 wins, we're going to be sniffing a 7th, 8th, 9th seed.
And that's fine. Well, not 9th, because I'm not saying.
I'm just saying. Somebody's going to miss the playoffs.
There's a playing tournament again this year.
There's
another playing tournament this year.
Okay.
So 9th seed can still fight for that 8th seed.
I'm assuming with probably the same rules as the last one.
Pretty much.
But like, to me, we talked about Memphis. Or I'm sorry, I talked about. I forget who I talked about. Whatever the case may be. Phoenix, right? But I think same thing about Memphis. When I look at that team, do I think that we could beat them?
Yeah.
Like in a playoff series, absolutely. I watched John Morant play. He's great. He's gonna be up there, maybe later on. But like right now, he's still a rookie last year.
He's got a lot of the same things.
He's gonna get better. But he just plays so out of control.
Yeah.
Sometimes you watch him and you're like...
He's got a lot of the same things that like DeJounte Murray does, where you watch him drive and you're just like, ooh, what was that? Like, why'd you do that?
He gets those highlight plays where, he's on Twitter every night. Yeah, he's on SportsCenter, whatever. But then, like, if you watch the whole game, for that one play, like that everybody's blowing up, he had 10 horrible plays. Yeah. And you're just like...
Or I'll be honest, there's times...
Pop would have threw his ass out of the damn stadium.
There's times when I watch him play and this dude just looks like he's like very disinterested, or like he's separated from the offense a little bit, just in terms of not just the way he looks. I don't want to judge him by how he looks, but just the plays that he's making. It's real passive.
But
and then he's got those big spurts of like making plays, like you said.
He's good, man. He's good. Like, I'm not knocking him at all.
Yeah.
But I'm just going off what I see. And obviously I'm biased as hell because I'm a Spurs fan, and that's just the way I'm gonna be. But do I think we could beat them? Yes. Do I think we could beat Phoenix? Yes.
Okay, so we're talking about records. You had us at about 28 to 30 wins.
To 30.
You would say, in your eyes, like we're 100% missing playoffs, or where do you think that percentage sits?
I'd say close to 80 to 90%
of not making playoffs.
Yeah,
like with a shot to get it.
Yeah.
Okay, and then yours were higher. You were around the 36 range.
I say 40.
36 to 40.
I say 40 because I say we're going above 500. Right? That's already 36.
36 is 500. So
I'm putting that at 40. Easy.
And where do you think 40 puts us at in terms of the overall standings?
I don't know. I guess we'll see. What I'm hoping that we're fighting for, like, I guess I would say 6. I would say for sure 6, 7, 8 that will be in there, like, with 40. I'm hoping that can get us to 6.
Okay.
Like, I guess.
And okay, so I'm sitting right in between you, and my record would probably be right in between you guys as well, because I don't know. I think 40 sounds like a lot in a 72 game season to win 40 games. That sounds like a lot, at least just right now. Without I would probably put us though somewhere right around 500. I don't put too much stock in like if we win 35 games and lose 37 games. I'm not gonna be mad. I'm not gonna be like, dang, again we're a bad team or whatever, because the West is just gonna be that close. But I'll put us like I would say like maybe 30. I would put us around that 36, maybe like 34, 35, 36, like right around that right around the 500 mark.
See, and what did we talk about earlier? Our record last year.
32?
So
32 and 39.
Do you think that we did not just get better?
I think, yeah, and I would think 36. I would think we were going to win. I think we're going to win more games, But again, in so many of these, we're talking about the standings are going to be a hard toss-up towards the end of the year. Our division matchups are going to be a toss-up almost on a game-to-game basis when we play them. To be honest, other than maybe like the top 3 seeds in the West and maybe like, I'm not afraid of anybody in the East. But other than like playing LA and LA, just in like regular season in terms of getting wins, I think almost all of the games are going to be toss-ups. And I'm siding on the fact that I think we're going to win a lot of those, or I'm hoping that we're going to win a lot of those. I think in terms of playoff seeding, it'll push us again. I think we're going to be competing for, I would put right where you're at, 6 through, I hope that we land in that 6 through 8 spot, but I think realistically, everybody is going to be fighting for like 6 through 10. Is going to be tough. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I could see us winning 36 games and making it to the 7th seed. I could see us winning 35 games and making it to the 8th seed. I could see us winning 34 games and making it to and the 9th seed and have to do the play-in. So like I don't know. I think it's going to be that tight all the way through.
So who y'all going top 8?
Top 8? Well, both LA teams,
right? Obviously, those guys. Not in any order, just like
but numbers wise, somebody's got to leave. Okay, I'm gonna list off the playoff teams that were in the playoffs last year, and we'll say still in or they're out.
Yeah, well, because I think San Antonio's going.
Yeah, so we'll
I'm
see.
gonna have to throw one out. You think they're gonna miss?
Exactly.
So you could just leave it the same.
Yeah. Okay. So we all got the Lakers in. Obviously. Clippers are in. Mm-hmm. Denver is in.
Yes.
Houston.
So Houston can be a toss-up because either they can, keep James Harden, keep John Wall, and just run with what they're going.
James Harden today, his Instagram post we were talking about earlier.
What, alluding that like he's ready to go? Or
I don't know. He just put up.
It was just very vague. It was a very vague like Instagram post that like nobody knows whether or not he was actually.
Okay. He was at the strip club last night. I just saw on Twitter.
And they were a high seed. But then again, 4, 5, 6, and 7 were all mad close. But anyways. Houston, you say toss up, so could be in, could be out. You say in or toss up? I honestly think
that's a toss up.
I would say toss up.
I'll toss it.
Okay, so let's put Houston on the side for a second. OKC is out.
OKC's out.
OKC is out. Utah.
I'd say Utah's still in.
Utah. Okay, so that puts us at 5 though. No, sorry.
Did Utah get any big additions?
No, but like that team was already.
Continuity is gonna be a strength this year. And they re-signed Rodney Hood. I mean, not Rodney Hood. Clarkson, is he on that team?
I believe so. I believe so.
Yeah. Okay. So Utah is in. So that puts us at 4 locks. Dallas is still in.
Yeah, Dallas is in.
And Portland is still in.
No. I think that's a toss-up as well. We'll see what Dame does.
I'd say that they're in the fight. So that means that like.
Okay. Well, let's start with locks. Let's start with locks. So we had 4 locks, which was LA, Denver, and Utah.
You got Portland a lock?
And Dallas.
Oh. Yeah, 5. LA, Denver, Utah, Dallas. 5.
That's 5 locks.
Actually, I will say this. Like, if the Rockets start with James Harden, John Wall, and by the end of, or midway through January, nothing has come up for trades for James Harden, they're going to be a playoff team. Like, they're going to still make it in.
You're saying if he's playing and well, you're saying if they're not going to trade him, it's because they're winning games.
Yes.
Versus if they're losing games, they're probably going to look to move him or look to change something.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. Okay, but anyways, we have 5 locks, so that leaves 3 spaces. That leaves 3 spaces for teams like I'll keep OKC in the conversation, but Houston, OKC, Portland, and then you got Memphis, Phoenix, San Antonio. Sacramento, can we take off the table?
Yes, we can take Sacramento off the table.
But New Orleans is a who knows?
We can put them in,
right? And then Minnesota for now, leave them out, right?
Fringe.
They're like the fringes of the fringe in my opinion. And then Golden State,
I would still keep out. Honestly, I would still keep out.
But they're going to be better.
If Steph Curry comes back as an MVP, they're probably going to be a lock. Honestly. But
lock for playoffs.
For playoffs, yes. Like I think that Steph Curry and that Golden State team could probably beat.
So all that talk about how you feel about Phoenix and about like all those other teams. Golden State, even without Clay, having Steph,
I think they
puts them past everybody.
I think that would and I'm saying that he'd have to have a MVP.
And they're still gonna have Wiseman. They're still gonna have
Draymond come back.
What's his name from Phoenix?
Kelly Oubre is a great addition for them.
So I think they're gonna make the playoffs. And if to me you take OKC spot
Houston,
and you just put
Golden State.
You just plug Golden State there, and to me, that's where they would go, right? They would go straight up there. Like they won't go. Obviously, they're not going to be better than.
But maybe like around the 4 to 6 season.
So and that's exactly what I would do. I would pull OKC.
Okay.
I would throw Golden State up there, and I'm taking like if I'm
Spurs
if I'm going
into versus Houston.
There's 2 more seats left.
I'm putting Spurs in Portland spot, which
Okay.
would have been last year's. So will they be the 8th seed? I don't know, but will they be in there? Yes.
Okay, I can definitely see. I think OKC. I think they're out. Houston, I honestly think that we, even with James Harden being there the whole time,
Yeah.
I think we can I think we can beat them.
And we took.
Or
Denver. Did we even say Denver?
I would say Denver's a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Denver's a lot, right?
because Denver's a 3.
Yeah,
Denver's a 3
we
seed.
did say Denver.
They literally have been getting their growth and you can see their young guys getting better and more acclimated is exactly like the time. I think the Spurs and the Nuggets are on like so similar timelines. They're just ahead of their timeline than we are.
But we took that team. We took that team to Game 7 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
And that's why I said, oh, we're going to make that jump.
Yeah, exactly.
And obviously it didn't happen. We fell off and they kept growing. But do I think that they're...
No, I don't think they're not miles. Yeah, they're not. I don't think they're miles.
I think we're right
yeah,
there.
and that's I think that's the general point of like where most of us feel San Antonio is like in terms of their makeup is not nearly as far out of it as maybe people put us, right? Or just in terms of the quality of team.
We don't have our big 3, and people. I feel like that's what they said. That like is gonna
the
throw
big
us off of the face of the earth.
the big 3
like,
being gone,
so.
plus a mixture of what most people imagine LA and DeMar's offensive game to look like.
Yeah, like,
and yeah, so I agree. But yeah, I would probably say I think we all agree like. We're going to be fighting. Well, you probably put us close. I think we all agree that we're going to be around the 6 to 9, 10 range. But I think you got us closer to that. You got us closer to that 9, 10. You got us probably closer, pushing up to the 6.
Well, that's
the ceiling.
I'm hoping the 6. Like, and we could easily, like you said, it could easily be so tight. We could win 40 games in this.
Maybe that
we could be right where I'm at, and we could be the 9th seed. You know, fighting to get in or.
And that's why that's just kind of like we were talking about like us taking Denver to 7 and stuff like that. Like they've made a couple changes to their roster that has like added to what they already have, and we've drafted right, but like we haven't really done anything to actually change what we did.
We did not have DeJounte in that series.
Yeah, but they didn't have Michael Porter Jr. You know, like Michael Porter Jr. is one of their leading scorers right now,
and he showed like a little bit of what they're hoping to see a lot from him this next year.
And so, I mean, I look at the other teams, and we said we have about like 5 to 6 lock-ins, right, which leaves about 2 to 3 seeds, as well as that fourth for the play-in, right?
The 9, right?
And like genuinely. I think that a team like Portland will be able to get more of those close wins than we can. You know, because like we were talking about it, you know, but games can be toss-ups.
And even last year, they only got 3 more wins than the Spurs, but that's the difference. That's the difference.
And like, you know, games can be toss-ups, but at the end of the day, I don't think we can win toss-up games like a team like Portland can.
In those toss-up games that you're talking about, you're saying that we're not going to win because they have better players than us?
I'm saying that because at the moment their players can have just at least proven what they can do in the clutch. And right now we just haven't.
I think that we will win those games. On the other hand, not because of who we have on the court, but it's because who we have right there in that chair, and that's Pop. Because sometimes those teams that should win on paper because they have those people, like their coaching is horrible. And you can see who knows how to coach and
especially
everybody knows how to coach.
Especially in a year like this where everybody's going to have to be adjusting to whatever kind of regulations and change of schedule. The way that they're playing is going to be different, right? They're like traveling to Houston and playing them like on two separate nights, but playing them back to back.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something where I think Pop it does have a big advantage of like, okay, we got to play LA, we got to play the Lakers, but we're playing them twice in a row right now. So the idea of trying to get a split against the Lakers in the regular season, if you play them back to back, I think bodes well for us versus like if we play them in December and then we play them again in March, the likelihood of like them beating us both times I think is higher, if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys agree with that.
It makes sense. That. And that's why I like us in those close games because of who we have like on the sideline.
So we do have some advantages in that point, obviously in coaching, you know. Okay, so I think we're all kind of reasonable and right around the same range. So with that being said, you know, we are just a few days being outside of preseason starting, and then right around the corner from the first couple games in December. So like it's gonna go real quick. Just like what are the things that you want to see from the group in preseason, but also leading into the first part of the season, knowing that that Keldon's going to be out and White's going to be out, we can have tempered expectations in terms of those minutes, I guess. But just like, what are you trying to see?
Yeah.
What are you trying to see?
As I was saying earlier, honestly, my biggest concern is consistency. Like, you know, when we were talking about the wins, you know, I didn't care about us winning. I care about us being consistent on the court. You know, I loved what I saw from Lonnie whenever he had those games of scoring 20 to 30 points against, you know, like the big teams, right? But at the same time, there were those games where we saw him take multiple shots that he would, you know, make in other games, but he would just, you know, clink them off the side of the rim, and he'd only score his 2 points, and we'd just have to go home, like, you know, not seeing a great performance out of him. I don't need to see Lonnie become a 20-point per game scorer. I just want to see Lonnie be able to score more efficiently and make better choices with what he does, you know.
So you want more consistency
out of Lonnie or out of the team?
Yeah,
you mainly threw Lonnie.
I just threw Lonnie under the bus there, but mainly from like the team. Like, you know, there'd be times where even DJ does just a couple poor choices that like this coming into this year.
I do give DJ a lot of leeway because he was coming off of that injury.
Yeah.
And so like I agree with you. I want DJ to do more. Like,
and there were, and you're speaking to consistency. There were so many games where you would leave the game with the feeling of, like, man, okay, if we can play like this, we can start to stack some wins, right? Or like, okay, we played really well against this team, and maybe it was like a big game. We play really well against like Philly or against like a playoff team, and then you're like, okay, good, we got like Sacramento next game. This should be 2 wins in a row, and then all of a sudden we come out with
Buddy Hield goes off.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying about we don't want to see that anymore.
Exactly.
We don't want to see that
even if Buddy Hield does go off, if we're still playing to the ability that we usually do, then yes, you know, we're still at least in that game, you know. Just because Buddy Hield, you know, gets a career high or whatever the case may be, you know, we're not shooting ourselves in the foot because of how bad we're playing.
Yes.
We're just staying competitive because of how much better they're playing.
Yeah. And I think that's where and correct me if I'm speaking wrong for you, but like I think that's where you're saying about like it's okay if we lose them if we're in the fight and our guys are showing that they're trying to get these things done, and maybe a shot just doesn't fall that night. We've been there before. How many times have we seen Manu Ginobili miss a game-winning shot? Tony Parker miss a game-winning shot. You know, we've seen it before, and we're okay. We're there to like be there for our guys when they lose a game. That's not the issue, right? But it's like we just want to see that we're there trying. We're in that fight every night.
Exactly.
Okay, I would agree. Okay, so consistency, would you say, is like your number one?
Yeah, that is like like at the end of the day, did Derek, did DJ, did Lonnie, did Keldon, did they play their roles, and did they do it, you know, maybe not as great as they can do it, but at least do it to a decent level to keep us inside of you know, not just being a garbage bum time team, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So then, Josh, what are some of the things that you want to see early into the year?
I guess early and going forward the whole year, obviously I want our guys to get better every day, every week, every game. That's what I want. But to me, like, what I want to see is a change, I guess, in Pop. Like, I've been watching the Spurs since I was little, and that was Timmy. You know what I mean? That was the big three. So all I know is winning. That's just how it is. But it's not the same no more. Obviously, we did not make the playoffs last year. So I want to see Pop let our guys play because we're not in this. We haven't been in this position in. I couldn't even tell you the last time. 1996, I would say, right?
Yeah, because even in like the 7-year stretch between like 07 and 2014 when they won titles, like there's 7 years where we did not win a championship, but they're in the fight.
But we were always there.
Yeah,
we were in the playoffs. We were always in what was it? What was the Chris Paul shot over Timmy?
Oh, in 2015.
Over Timmy, like we could have been there then too, you know. But like
2016, they only lost like one home game the whole year.
Yeah.
They're just stuck behind the 73 Warriors or whatever.
You know, but I want Pop to let our guys play a little. I guess I just want him to. I feel like they're gonna mess up. Like we're our young team.
Yeah.
What I don't want to see is if DJ does. I mean, not DJ. Like you were throwing Lonnie. I don't want to just throw him under the bus all the time. But say he does have a bad game. I don't want him to not play the next game. Like I don't want that. That's what I don't want to see.
Yeah.
I want him to be out there. If Keldon Johnson makes a bad play, I don't want him to go get benched like right away. I just want him to let him play, and hopefully they don't have those games. Hopefully that everything just goes smooth because the bubble play. Like if we play like we played in the bubble, I feel like we'll be great. And Pop, I feel like he did like let them be free a little. In a sense.
And DJ talked to a lot of that too.
In the bubble, like he let them play, he let them loose, and I like that. And what Pop was saying, that we didn't make the playoffs last year. Something's got to change. Like, and that showed me a lot because I was kind of like hard, like on why are we playing our guys?
Yeah.
Why are we playing Lonnie? I don't care that he shot 1 for 10 the last game. Play him, like he's not going to get out of the slump. If you bench him, like he's not going to get out of the slump. So I want. That's what I want. That's what
we were trying to get Bryn out of the slump.
Yeah, like we got
trying to get Marco out of the slump.
And we slumped their asses out of SA. I honestly I like Marco. Like he helped us, right? 2014, right? Marco, like he'll always be a Spur, right? Once a Spur for life. So good luck to Marco, and I forget where he's playing.
Italy, right? In Italy.
He played great in the bubble too.
Hopefully Brent plays good over there in
Milwaukee.
Like Milwaukee. Like Milwaukee, like I'm happy for those guys. I'm glad they got their opportunities elsewhere. Am I happy they're off the Spurs?
Because it provides more opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Bryn took a lot of minutes, and that was kind of frustrating.
The only thing that I kind of want to say about you want to make the playoffs and stuff like that, but like we gotta, in a sense, we have to kind of take it a step at a time. We can't just go from being this inconsistent team that didn't make a play, that couldn't make the playoffs last year, to just all of a sudden we have it all together.
Well, but that's why I try to tell you that we had this pretty much the same team that we had the year before, and we made the playoffs, and we were game 7.
But that's what I'm saying. That
so we're not taking a big jump. It's not like we're 10 years and I'm like, all right, this is the year we're gonna make that jump and go to the playoffs. We were in the playoffs 2 years ago, and competing to go
with just about the same roster.
Yeah, with adding better pieces. Like we have better pieces than we had 2 years ago. Like if I don't know, like I'm like really like what if Lonnie did play all the minutes that Brent played last year? Maybe he would have won us an extra 2 games.
And
then we're in the playoffs. We're in the playoffs. You know what I mean?
Or at the bare minimum, now we have all the leverage when it comes to the play-in game. We're the 8th seed, or you know what I mean, like versus having to really dig in.
That's exactly how I feel, and that's why my point was I want Pop to let these guys play a little, because it's not like we were 10 games out of the playoffs and we were invited to that bubble because we were there. We were right there, and if we would have just won 1 or 2 more games, and I brought up Cleveland like earlier because I think we like. And man, if I'm not mistaken, we blew a big old lead against Cleveland. And I just want them to be. I want those guys, our young guys, to win those extra couple games, and I think we can this year, like easily. I think we can.
On the same coin, but flip it, right? What if last year Lonnie wasn't it at the beginning of the year, or whatever, right? What if it really just didn't work out like that, and instead of him winning 2 games, we lost 2 games, and that just put us even further out.
All that did was, did we make the playoffs?
No. Yeah. But I'm just saying that you wanted to make the playoffs.
Right.
But you can't.
But you're saying okay, we didn't make the playoffs last year, but what if Lonnie lost us 2 more games and we still didn't make the playoffs? Well, that's my point. We didn't make the damn playoffs regardless.
Yeah.
So you're right. He could have lost us 2 games, but he could have won. I mean,
Yeah.
On the flip side,
the potential loss is that we're still out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So
I mean, hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We at the beginning of last year, obviously, we're still trying to make a playoff push,
and we keep throwing Lonnie's name out there. We got a lot of guys. I think we got a lot of guys that can make a big difference. Like Keldon could have. Who knows? What if Keldon played a couple of those games? Because his motor was out the roof. You know what I mean? He could have just made a couple of hustle plays or whatever, grabbed a board or two.
Plug.
Yeah, and then that could have brought us back. You know, like whatever the case may be, we could have won some games that there were some games out there that I feel like...
And it doesn't even have to be them. Imagine if he's just out on the floor and maybe instead of it like Keldon, maybe it's like Keldon and Patty.
Yeah.
Right? What if Patty was out there taking that shot that Marco took, right? But it's Keldon getting him the ball or whatever, right? So,
So I feel like our young guys could have made us those type of plays in some of those games.
And going into this year, that's what you want to see.
That's what I want to see. I want Pop to see... I want Pop to leave those guys out there.
Yeah.
Let them make their mistakes. Let them run with it instead of being so on the bench now.
So then I think first of all I agree. I think that they are going to do that, and I think that that's why kind of tailing it back to our original thoughts about the roster that we have at this moment. That's why I'm kind of overall okay with us keeping DeMar, keeping LA, keeping Rudy, because you do need to give the reins to the young guys. But you need to. I think we have the opportunity, I should say, to do it in the context of. Here's a lot of responsibility and a lot of minutes and a lot of opportunity, but you are surrounded with support systems by these older.
Rudy played that a good position.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's quite good.
And so I think we're gonna have. I mean, to have Rudy and Patty and DeMar and LA, that's a great support system to help. Again, transition into what our future is going to be. Like you said, about what we were and what we want to be. This is a transition year. I don't think it's a rebuild. I think it is a transition.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I'm looking to see is kind of a little bit of that. I think last year, because of the inconsistency, it was just hard to see, what is everybody's role going to be. We were still in a little bit of that where the argument about, who's going to, how are we going to space the floor with DeMar and LA? You could still kind of have that argument last year. And I don't want to have that argument this year. I want to have very clearly defined roles. And then that's where you can really judge, we're doing our job the way we should or we're not. Versus sometimes last year it was I think we're doing our job, but it's kind of hard to tell because just the way that the game was, it just felt a little bit like we didn't know exactly what our game plan was going to be. That's just how I felt, at least over the course of the whole year. And maybe it's because sometimes we were playing well and sometimes we weren't. So it was just hard to see, this is what we're trying to do all the time. So I want that consistency because I want those clearly defined roles. And I think that those roles should be, you still got to run the offense through LA and DeMar by a big majority in the sense of they're going to be responsible for a lot of your points. But I want the people I want our point guards to have those experiences of okay, ball's in your hand, 24 seconds on the clock, and the game's going to go this way or the game's going to go this way. And it doesn't mean he's got to take the shot. You know what I mean? But I want everybody to know exactly in that situation, what is the role? What are we doing? You know what I mean?
And I think that's where I want to find the middle ground because obviously I just said that I want consistency, but when we were talking about lineups, I wanted to put in the rookie, right? That's, because I want him to go out there and get minutes and get the experience already. I want him to get it as soon as we can. But at the same time, I want our consistency. So that's why I feel like that great middle ground would be giving those players those easier roles so that, one, it makes, like you said, where we are throwing our young players out there, but we have a solid support system. DeMar's still out there as our number one option shooting the ball. LaMarcus is still out there, doing his thing, but we just have, now we are running our young guys a little bit more to kind of, in a sense, push them in the deeper waters, right? Just to make sure that they are getting ready for what's to come because, even if we do re-sign some of the vets, I don't think we're going to keep all of our vets that are going to be expiring next year. So, they are going to have to be pushed out eventually, right?
Yeah.
And that's why I feel like if we can form a good sense of consistency out of them, get them to play good ball on a nightly basis, and then next year, that's when they take that step to become even better, then that's when we can start making our playoff pushes again, Like you said, it's a transition year.
Yeah.
And if that means that this year is a losing year, then that's just what it is.
And I think we're all in the same spot. I just think that we think the result. I think like we're good enough that even if we can develop and make the playoffs at the same time. Even if we're not good enough to make the true push towards being in the upper echelon, whatever you want to call us, I think that our baseline right now is we're a pretty good team. And we have great coaching, and we have youth, and we have speed. So, like, I think I don't know if we're going to be as low as you think. Although the West makes it hard to kind of predict.
And that's why, like, I do feel like it can be a bit of a stretch that we are going to make the playoffs. But at the same time, like, yeah, like you said, it's in the West, That literally, like, that 5th through 10 can be, interchangeable. You can put any spot anywhere, and it'll make sense.
Or you can at least have the argument and start that discussion. Okay, so we've spent a lot of time talking about lineups, projections, but let's just take a real quick. I'll give another 30 seconds or so for everybody just to give their final wrap up of everything that we kind of talked about today as we're right on the verge, right on the cusp of the new season. It's super exciting. So go ahead, Jake.
Yeah, I think I could say for all of us that we're all just super excited to see the young guys. Just excited to see everybody come back, and honestly for me, I can't be any happier watching Spurs basketball. So.
Yeah, same, man. I'm ready for the season to start. I'm ready to see what our young guys have. I'm ready for us to make the playoffs again. I did not like not watching us in the playoffs. God, it was horrible. Like, it made me not want to watch the playoffs. I still watch. I'm a basketball fan for life, but man, I'm ready for the Spurs to be back in there. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would agree. I'm so excited to see what these young guys got. I'm also kind of excited to see, because like we talked about transition, like I'm excited to see what is going to be like the Spurs post Pop. And I think that even though even though he's still going to be here, I think this is kind of like our first real glimpse into like what are we going to look like when it's all said and done, aka when what we know, well, at least we're a little bit older than Jake, but like what we know of the Spurs being Tony and Manu and Timmy and Pop, like that unit, like what is it going to be moving forward? So I think that's almost what I'm most excited about. But yeah, it's the young guys for me. It's being able to, again, when it's game day, to throw the jersey on and to just be like, all right, like let's go to freaking battle, man. Like I think on a night to night basis, I think we can beat anybody. And I think that because of that thought,
40 times,
and because of that thought, I think that it will provide good opportunities for us as we get closer to postseason and all that. But that again, that's another topic for another day, for another discussion, and we definitely want to have those discussions, moving forward. So this wraps up our first episode, our first gathering for HHC. We're super excited to start this channel. I think that's another thing we're kind of excited for the new year, is that this is an opportunity for us as brothers to kind of hang out and bond a little bit and talk about things that we love, which is San Antonio Spurs basketball. Give us an opportunity to kind of get a little bit more into the digital world and editing video and working with audio and kind of just diving into all that. So we're excited to be here. We hope you guys enjoyed watching and kind of listening to us. If you feel like this is something that you want to hang out with, our plan is to have another one. Maybe on a weekly basis. That's the goal for now. Way into the future, we're not against the idea of talking some football, of talking just a little bit about everything. But I think at the core of it, we're so excited to be able to sit and talk Spurs, right? Mm-hmm. So that's it. I think we're done.
That's a wrap, buddy.
Peace.
Peace.
For the one.
What do you know, dog? DJ's on live right now. He's watching us.
Right.
Not play with that little voice here.
Counting us out too early, Joe.
Here, look. We could be live with DeJounte Murray. Focus. Let me focus here real quick. Put it back.